Shout out to Demetrius Jones for sending me this story. This is more of an update. Before I get started, I was only going to show the individual who the focal matter, the subject point of this story in this thumbnail. But when I saw the look at that brother's face as he looked at this man in pure disgust, even if it was just a candid image, and he probably wasn't looking at him in disgust, but he probably was, I said I gotta include that in there because that's probably how I would have looked at him if I was in that position. But this is an update video involving Gregory Bush. For those of you who need a little reminder, Gregory Bush was the man who last year killed that black man and woman at the Kroger in Louisville, Kentucky. Like he said he was going to go to, I think, a predominantly black church and pull a Dylan roof. He wasn't fortunate with that because they wasn't about to let him in. And then he was the one that made that asinine comment saying that wasn't he the one that said white people don't kill other white people? I think that's the one who said it. It could have been somebody else, but I swear I think it was him. But anyway, he has been officially ruled competent to stand trial, which means that whole trying to plead insanity thing did not work in his favor. You want to know what's so crazy? If you find any other picture of him online, he looks normal. Like he looks like a regular person. But when he's in the courtroom, he always has this look right here on his face. I mean, in every picture, like his mug shots, this picture, any picture of him in the courtroom, he has this look of he's supposed to be shocked. But if you see any picture of him where he's not in this position, he's smiling or he just has a regular face on. So I know it's all an act. But let me go ahead and read this article coming from MSN. Gregory Bush, the demon, accused of killing two shoppers at a Jeffersontown Kroger last fall, is now competent to stand trial. Prosecutors said during a preliminary hearing Wednesday that a Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center report found Bush, age 51, is competent to stand trial on murder, wanton endangerment, and attempted murder charges stemming from the October shooting. Bush of Louisville has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of wanton endangerment, and 1 count of attempted murder. That could actually hurt him right there. I'm not going to say that it will or if it won't, but the fact that he pleaded not guilty, which means he has opted out of getting a plea deal should he be found guilty. Which means if he is found guilty, he'll most likely get the maximum. Prosecutors said a KCPC report on Bush found he was competent, but Jefferson Circuit Judge Annie O'Connell will decide whether to accept the findings of the report and rule Bush competent during an October 31st hearing. How about that? How fitting that they're having a monster have his trial begin on Halloween. That, talk about ironic. Bush allegedly shot and killed Maurice Stallard, age 69, and Vicki Lee Jones, age 67, at the Kroger off Taylorsville Road in Jeffersontown on October 21st. Authorities said Bush and another shopper who was armed also exchanged gunfire in the parking lot of the Kroger. And I think the person he exchanged fire with was another black man, if I'm not mistaken. Neither man was hit in the shootout, and Bush then allegedly got in his car and drove a short distance before being stopped and detained by authorities. In May, Bush was ruled incompetent to stand trial, but a doctor who evaluated Bush said he would likely gain competency in the future. During the May hearing, Jefferson Circuit Judge Annie O'Connell ordered Bush sent to the Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center to undergo the 460-day medication treatment. Under the law, defendants must be able to assist a lawyer in mounting their defense. If an accused person is not deemed capable, a judge can find them incompetent for the time being and subject to additional evaluations. Bush, who is white, has also pleaded not guilty to 3 federal hate crime charges and 3 federal gun charges in connection with the deaths. By him saying he's not guilty of what he's doing, even though we know what he did was extremely racist and he did murder 2 black people with the attempts of killing more at a different location, lets you know of his arrogance, and he feels that he did absolutely nothing wrong. When these racists commit their acts of hatred, they feel that they're doing the world a favor when they do that. Oh, and it looks like I was right on the statement that I had mentioned about him. It says, both Stallard and Jones were black, and a bystander in the Kroger parking lot said Bush told him, "Don't shoot me, I won't shoot you. Whites don't shoot whites." And you want to know what's so weird about that? that was in a year when we was coming off the cusp of all these mass shootings, where all of them, for the most part, were white males, and pretty much almost all of them were white victims. I said that could have been one of the most ridiculous statements that anyone could ever make. And he was also basically saying that we're not like those Negroes who kill each other. Like, if he, like, you have to, like, really get inside the mind of your enemy. That's basically what he was saying in so many words, that white people don't kill other white people like those, you know who's, those N-words who kill each other. We're not like them. You're not like us. You're actually worse. Minutes before he began shooting at the Kroger, police said Bush also attempted to enter the predominantly black First Baptist Church of Jeffersontown. Bush's son previously said his father had been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder and had expressed irrational fears in the past. A status conference for Bush's case in the U.S. District Court in Louisville is scheduled for August 19th, according to online court records. If convicted on the federal charges, Bush could face the death penalty or life in prison. Well, let's hope either one goes the way that it should. I'm going to let y'all decide. Let me know what y'all decide. Death penalty or life in prison. But I noticed they said life in prison, but it didn't say anything about without parole. They need to put without parole attached to it as well. Because if they just say life in prison, go with the death penalty. Bush remains held in Louisville Metro Corrections. Well, I'm glad they have officially found him competent to stand trial. I will definitely be trying to stay on top of this story. They said his trial will begin on Halloween. Like I said, very interesting day that they decide to have this trial begin. And let's hope for the worst for him. I think that's all we can really hope for at this point, is the absolute worst for this guy. And hopefully he is getting the worst right now where he is being held. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.